Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to upload GL exchange rates. So before we get into the topic of uploading of GL exchange rates, so first of all, we need to understand what is the significance or the reason for uploading of GL exchange rates. So within Oracle, whenever you are entering any transaction, there are two currencies involved. One is the entered currency, or you call it as a transaction currency, as well as the functional currency or the ledger currency. So whenever you are entering a transaction, if the currency in which the transaction is being entered is not a functional currency, then system expects an exchange rate to be entered so that it converts the transaction currency or entered currency into functional based on the exchange rate whatever you enter. So there are two ways. One is when the transaction being entered, you can enter your own exchange rate whatever you want, that is called a user exchange rate, or you can pick up the exchange rate from the drop down, or you want the exchange rate, not the drop down, sorry, like you want the exchange rate to be populated in the screen based on the predefined or exchange rates available in the system. So in order for the exchange rate to be available in the system, either you need to manually load them or you need to get a feed from any external bank or a financial institutions. So in a real world business scenarios, you can generally get a feed of the exchange rates from a bank or financial institutions. So I'm not talking about that. But if you have a requirement to manually upload the exchange rates via Oracle Forms or or via using a WebADI, then I'll explain you how we can upload those exchange rates. So the prerequisites is, first you should ensure that there is something called conversion rate type which is defined in the system, and you should also enable a profile option, a daily rates window, enforce inverse relationship during entry to yes. Okay, so first thing is we'll talk about this conversion rate type. So you can have different kind of an exchange rates. So you are grouping different exchange rates under a conversion rate type. You Some of the examples of conversion rate types are your spot conversion rate type, corporate conversion rate type, or you can have your any other conversion rate type. So it's basically kind of a source from where you are getting a exchange rates, or you can call it as a different kind of an exchange rate. So especially if it's a spot conversion rate type, generally you get spot rates from a bank or financial institutions. Generally, if you go for a corporate exchange rate type, you get a corporate exchange rate wherein the entire exchange rate for the entire month could be the same, and you will be using the same exchange rate for the entire month. Go to setup, currencies, should be under rates type. So if you press F11 and Control F11, you will be able to see all the different exchange rate or conversion rate types available. I mean, this being a testing environment, there are a lot of conversion rate types which are entered by different users here. So in general, we use a conversion rate type of uh, corporate or corporate or spot. Again, these are just a user defined. You can have your own names there. Okay, so this is the first part. Exchange rate is already the exchange rate type is already defined. And the second part is ensure that this particular profile option, in a minute I'll explain what is the significance of this profile option. So let us check the profile option value in this test environment. Go to system administrator, profile system. So the profile option name is, yeah, daily rates window, enforce inverse relationship during entry. So this value is already set to yes. Okay. Now log into any general ledger responsibility. First, I'll show you how to enter the exchange rates using the Oracle forms. Go to setup, currencies, rates, daily. So I just want to define an exchange rate between say USD and INR currency, say for today, which is April 5th. So from currency to currency, exchange rate date and the exchange rate type. I just want to use corporate rate and USD to INR. I'll just make it up, say 73. So as soon as I type out, this is the exchange rate which I have entered. 1 USD is equal 73 INR. As soon as I tab out, system has calculated this part INR to USD. This is because daily rates. I mean, I'll get into this a minute. Yeah, save this. Okay. Basically, here what you're saying is 1 USD is equal to 73 INR, or 1 INR is equal to 0.01369 USD. You can also search this the other way around. INR to USD for 5th of April 2021. Yeah, so this is the inverse part, like 1 INR is equal to 0.01369 USD, or 1 USD is equal to 73 INR. Okay, now coming back to this profile option. So the profile option says daily rates window enforce inverse relationship during entry to S. So as we have set up this particular profile option value, now what will happen is, let me change this value to, say, I'll make it as 0.012 and then tab out. Save this. As soon as I tab it out, automatically the inverse value is automatically recalculated. This is because of this particular profile option. If you do not set this value to yes, or if you set this particular profile option value to no, then inverse value will not be automatically calculated. And I do not see any reason why you should set it to no. Always, my assumption is this profile option value should be always set it to yes. So that system will automatically recalculate the inverse relationship. Now again, let me change this back to say 68. Yeah, and save this. As soon as I change this, automatically the other side is automatically recalculated or re-updated. Now save this and then again do search on USD to INR. See. Okay, so this is how you create the exchange rates using the forms. Again, now here I have entered an exchange rate for a particular date, but if you want to enter an exchange rate for a date range, you can just click on enter by date range and enter from currency to currency, from date to date. So you can just say 1st of April to 30th of April for this particular conversion rate type, so and so is an exchange rate. There are some companies who use the same exchange rate throughout the month. So those kind of for those kind of requirements, you can just use this particular enter rates by date range, and you can just enter the same exchange rate throughout the month. Now there is another way through which you can enter the exchange rate. I mean, this is basically if you are trying to enter an exchange rate between say 1 or 2 currencies, this particular form is fine. But if you have requirement to enter an exchange rate, you are not getting a exchange rate feed from say any other bank or financial institutions, and you have a requirement to upload an exchange rate for different currencies, maybe on a daily basis or on a monthly basis. That is possible through something called your Web ADI. So for that, go to currencies, currency rate manager, daily rates. Okay, there is something called create in spreadsheet. So WebADI gets downloaded. Click on open. Okay, remember, if you are trying to open this spreadsheet or the WebADI for the first time on your laptop, then you might get some kind of a VB error message, because there are certain Excel settings which you need to enable in order to start using your WebADI. And if you are not aware of those settings, please refer to the description section of this video, where I had given a link for some other video on my channel, where I'd explained what are the different Excel options which you need to enable in order to start using any WebADI. Okay, so click on enable editing. So here you have an options, click on the drop down, you have an option to select insert or delete. So you can insert a new exchange rate, or you can even use this particular web data to even delete the exchange rate from the system. So insert, and what is my from currency? Just say USD. And what is my to currency? I'll just make up something, maybe I've already entered USINR, right? Okay, let me make AUD and date 5th of April 2021. I just want to use same date. So these are actually a drop down. You can see here list of values. You can select it from the drop down. I mean, you have a lot of other kind of invalid currencies, because this being a testing environment, different people are entering different currencies. Okay, you can select from the drop down, or you can manually enter. And again, type is drop down. Corporate is the exchange rate type which we are planning to use. And then what is the exchange rate? Let me search in Google. So I just want to know USD to AUD. Yeah, 1.31. Let's try to use that. Similarly, I want to enter an exchange rate between a USD and say SGD. Maybe 1.34. Okay. Now just go to Oracle upload. So here you have an option, select all rows or flagged rows. So if you say flagged role, system will pick up only those rows which are flagged here. So if I uncheck this, then if I go with this option flagged rows, then system will not upload this row. So always go with all rows. And validate before upload is another important checkbox which you need to actually check this checkbox. The significance of this particular checkbox is system will perform some validations on this particular data before you even upload the data into Oracle. So take an example. I enter an invalid currency. Let's see what will happen now. Okay, you get an error message, one row failed validation, enter a valid currency. Okay, now let me try to correct this. Now try once again. So it is important that you check this checkbox so that if there are any data entry error, system will throw an appropriate error messages, and then you can appropriately correct that and then push the data. And second thing is, you need to check this checkbox, automatically submit daily rates input. If you do not check this checkbox, then this particular spreadsheet will insert the data into your GL daily rates interface. Then you need to manually run program daily rates import program manually. So always check this particular checkbox as well, so that system will take care of pushing the data from this WebID template into GL daily rates, and then importing from GL daily rates interface into your GL daily rates interface into your GL daily rates table. So click on upload. Okay, here you can see a message that 2 rows are successfully uploaded to staging table, and then the upload program got triggered with this particular request ID. You can click on close. Request ID is ending with 577. If you want, you can go to view a request, find and check for the status of this particular request ID, or you can even check that here itself. So 577 is this one. And then it internally triggered this particular program as well. But okay, the reason why this particular program got completed in warning, that is this particular program which is completed in warning is, let me just open this. There are some, this being a testing environment, there are some kind of an invalid data which is inserted into the GL daily rates interface table by somebody. You can see here, it's for a 2018 date with this invalid currency and with this rate type, and it says the error code is VF05. VF05 is from currency is invalid. So if there are any kind of issues with the data, you get these kind of details in your view output. So we can just ignore this because this is not the data related to whatever we have uploaded. Okay, so now let's go back to GL. Let's wait for the program to be completed. Okay, and let's search for USD to AUD, F11 USD to AUD for 5th of April 2021, and type corporate. Okay, so this is what we have uploaded, 1.31. So remember, we have just entered only this particular part. System has automatically taken care of calculating the inverse as well. So you can check here, help record history. Yeah, this is my user 2348. Yeah, 1150. Similarly, search for USD to SGD. 1.34. Okay, now you can also search for SGD to USD. SGD to USD, 5th of April 2021. 1.34. 1 USD to SGD is 1.34, and 1 SGD to USD is 0.74626 something. Okay, so especially you can use this particular spreadsheet if you have the data to be uploaded for a lot of different currencies. Okay, now what I'll do is, we know like we have uploaded the exchange rate between USD to AUD and USD to HGD, and you can even start entering our transactions using the particular exchange rate. System will still allow us to delete these exchange rate even though there are transactions entered in the system. Okay, so one option to delete this particular exchange rate is to click on this delete button, or the other option would be I can even delete it from the WebADI. So when you are deleting, you're just deleting this particular exchange rate for this particular date. So whether you enter the same date, I mean, as far as this rate is concerned, it doesn't make any difference. If you want, you can leave that as is, or you can just delete that. I mean, you can just remove that. So ultimately, when you click on this delete, system is looking for an exchange rates in the system with a conversion rate type of corporate for this particular date for between these currencies. If there are any exchange rate, system is going to delete those rates now. Okay. Now let me delete, right? Okay. Now let me click on upload. All rows validate before automatically submit. Yeah. Again, wait for the background programs to be completed. Again, you can even go back to your view request find. Again, this got completed in warning, not related to our data, so we can just ignore that. Again, wait for this particular program also to be completed, and once this is completed, we can go back to our daily rates window and search for these exchange rates. Okay, now it's completed. Now let me go back to your daily rates window. Search for an exchange rate between USD and AUD for a date of 5th of April 2021. See, I don't see any exchange rate. I can even try to search with AUD to USD. Okay. Similarly, USD to SGD or SGD to USD. Unfortunately, to delete the exchange rate, you do not have an option to download. The only option is to manually again enter different combinations for which you want the data to be deleted, and then go with the action of delete. So the system will take care of deleting the exchange rate for the currencies mentioned in this spreadsheet. This is how you upload or delete exchange rate between different currencies. Thank you. Thanks for watching my video. For interesting videos on Oracle Financials, please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.